The movie industry has always been known to be a lucrative business, and it's no secret that some of the biggest names in Hollywood earn what most people wouldn't see in a lifetime. It's a well-known fact that the actors who generate so much of the film business's revenue are compensated handsomely well. Some of them have even managed to hit the multi-million jackpot with just one role. So here are the actors who made the most money from just one single film. The beloved cheeky Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr. With a net worth of over $300 million, he's known for his roles in action blockbusters like Iron Man, Sherlock Holmes, and the Avengers series of films. Robert Downey Jr. has earned quite a pretty penny from his most notable role of Tony Stark. From the 2018 action film Avengers: Infinity War, which grossed more than $2 billion worldwide, by the way, Robert Downey Jr. got a huge slice of that money pie, with a $75 million paycheck. While that is an impressive amount, we wonder how much of that went to Mr. Downey Jr.'s lawyers. The Hollywood Reporter stated that RDJ took his finances very seriously, advocating for himself so successfully that he was able to not only reach that $75 million total, but also receives a certain kind of back-end pay from every single Avengers movie he stars in. Not too shabby, RDJ. Perhaps there's a future in entertainment law. You know, if that whole acting thing doesn't end up working out. Next up, a similarly familiar name. One that is even more synonymous with action roles and Scientology, of course. Yep, you guessed it, the one and only Tom Cruise. Most popular of Tom's roles are without a shadow of a doubt the Mission Impossible series. With a total of 6 films, the franchise has grossed upwards of $3.5 billion. And while it's in no small part due to the incredible writing, action sequences, and insane stunts, there's something to be said for the leading man. Over the years, Tom has earned nearly $400 million through the franchise, with his role in each movie earning him at least $75 million through both salary and box office compensation. We're sure Tom has no problem seeing this series through to completion, which, by the way, will ultimately end in the summer of 2024, with 2 more films set to release: Mission Impossible 7 in July 2023 and Mission Impossible 8 in June 2024. Tom's total earnings will undoubtedly bring him up to over $500 million for the role of Ethan Hunt. Now, it's not to say Tom doesn't deserve that. Known for insisting on doing his own stunts, the actor has suffered a lot of on-set injuries. So it's safe to say Mr. Cruise has earned that paycheck. Sorta. Another well-known actor on the list. One who was out of the spotlight for a while, then re-emerged for unfavorable circumstances. Johnny Depp. Regardless of his seedy personal life, there's no denying that for a time Depp was one of the most in-demand and highest-paid leading men of all time. Back in the Pirates of the Caribbean days, when Depp was fully immersed in the role of Captain Jack Sparrow, the always tipsy and always in trouble makeshift pirate, Depp was making bank on the series. In 2011, the film Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides grossed over $1 billion at the box office. These numbers were undoubtedly due to Johnny's portrayal of Jack Sparrow. So what did Johnny retain from that billion-dollar pie? Nothing to turn your nose up at, that's for sure. Johnny Depp brought in a whopping $95 million for his role in this movie. So while Johnny has recently complained in the tabloids about his legal fees making him broke, we have to ask, what does the word broke mean to you, Johnny? Probably not the same as what it means to us. Another man who has been made anything but broke off a film series, one that shot him to superstardom: Will Smith in Men in Black. The film series, which has a cult following, only had 3 films in the franchise. While it's still a good amount, so often you see remake after remake, sequel after sequel being made when an action movie does well at the box office. Well, not Men in Black. The film series did well to retain the magic within a trio of films. And Will? Well, he did even better. For the 3rd and final installment in the franchise, Will Smith earned a reported $100 million from the film. While $100 million is nothing to be upset about, we do wonder if Will Smith is a tad bit upset about the role he turned down. The one that could have tripled his earnings, if not more. The role of Neo in the Matrix movies. Keanu, who often shies away from the spotlight, is rewarded handsomely for the roles he chooses to appear in. Another franchise with only a trio of films, the series has had no issue bringing in the big bucks. It was $156 million that Keanu brought in from the Matrix series, by the way. With his back-end earnings skyrocketing, Keanu has leveraged the series to become the actor that has earned the most from a single movie franchise. Hats off to you, Mr. Reeves. I too would leave my basement for that kind of money. Now onto the biggest single movie earner. This one may surprise you, especially considering how long ago it was. Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense. The 1999 film was a surprise hit, being the second highest grossing film of that year. While Willis's salary was a measly $14 million, he joined the league of intelligent, self-advocating actors that scored themselves a lucrative back-end deal. Willis was reported to have gotten an impressive 17% of not only the movie's global box office earnings, but also a nice chunk of portions for home video sales. You know, back when that was a thing. Luckily for Bruce, it was. The Sixth Sense ultimately earned $672 million worldwide, and Bruce's take-home earnings totaled $114 million. Considering the year of release, we'd say Bruce was ahead of his time with that kind of payout. Notably absent on this list is Hollywood's beloved actresses, and so frequently we're reminded in the headlines of the wage gap. Let's take a moment to look at some of Hollywood's highest-paid women. Another Avengers alumni, Scarlett Johansson, who portrays the role of Natasha Romanoff, has only made $75 million from the combined 9 films she was in that transpired in the Marvel Universe. You know, $75 million, like the amount her co-star Robert Downey Jr. made for one Avengers film. Sheesh. Johansson wasn't too pleased with that kind of payment either. Despite the fact that Johansson made $20 million from the standalone Black Widow film, she sued Disney for more. While the lawsuit was settled not too long after its conception, the terms of the deal between the two parties were not made public. Considering the backlash Disney faced on social media for the discrepancy in payment between its male and female leading actors, one could assume that the reason the lawsuit was settled out of court was due to Disney feeling the heat. The lawsuit went into detail about the alleged seedy dealings of Disney, whom Scarlett believes sabotaged the box office release of Black Widow, all in the hopes it would garner more online subscribers for the Disney Plus platform. Now remember, stars negotiate deals for back-end payment based on their film's gross earnings at the box office. So if Disney wanted to generate more traffic towards their subscription-based service, it would make sense that they wouldn't give Black Widow the time and space it deserved in theaters. But all of this eventually did come at a cost to Johansson, a cost she was willing to fight and win for. So it's very clear that the film industry generates a nearly incomprehensible amount of money, and a large sum of that money goes to padding the pockets of our favorite stars. But with the recent writers' strike, perhaps a new page is being turned. Perhaps people behind the scenes or smaller named stars will begin to advocate for themselves and be given the number they deserve. Until then, and until things change, the cycle continues. These were the actors who made the most money for a single film revealed.